What's up, guys? It's Daniel at Boost Kiteboarding, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys today about the new Core Sensor 3 bar. So they're going to have three different configurations of this bar. They're going to have the Sensor 3, the Sensor 3 Plus, which are essentially the same bars. The only difference being is that the Sensor 3 Plus is going to have the varying 18 to 20 to 22 and 24 meter line lengths. And then this bar, the Sensor 3 Pro bar. This bar is going to have the black varying titanium lines from 18 to 24 meters, jumping up in those 2 meter increments, and the bar is going to be made out of that carbon construction. So the same kind of setup as last year as far as the lines and the construction goes. So let's talk a little bit more about what they've actually changed this year and what they've improved on for this model of bar. So the first big thing that you'll see obviously is the safety release system. So Core has switched now from their twist release system to a push release system. They've done that for the main reason is not because they don't think that their twist system is safe or it didn't perform very well. It's still arguably one of the best safety releases and safest safety release systems on the market. But why they went with a push release system this year, for the main reason is that there's going to be new international safety regulations with kite manufacturers and their safety release systems. So they're just trying to conform to those new regulations which are coming down the pipe probably in the very near future. So those regulations pretty much state that they're going to want all kite manufacturers to have a push release system with red labeling on all the safety components, followed by a white arrow to show which way to actually do it. So you can see with this, obviously, yeah, it's labeled red. There's a white arrow here. They've also done the same on the back of the bar. Again, with a red arrow or a red line to show kind of that it's the wrong way, and the same stop little labeling that they've had in previous models of bars. And of course, the safety leash you get with the bar is going to also be red with a white arrow to label that's the way to release the thing. So that's just, again, a new way that they're going to have to conform to the new safety regulations, and instead of kind of waiting for them to come out and then having to switch everything probably mid through the year or something like that. They're just getting ahead of the game and stepping up and doing that kind of stuff right now. So, of course, that this safety system and this chicken loop system is going to be still on that same ceramic bearing. So it's going to have still that buttery smooth swivel to it. So if you're ever trying to unspin your lines, if you ever kind of have done that, doing tricks and spinning out your bar, this system basically unspins itself 90% of the way with you actually not having to do pretty much anything. So it's really smooth, really easy, and it really works well with, even if you get sand and stuff like that in there, it really doesn't jam up because it's all ceramic. So like I said, it's a really smooth system that just, when they released this with the Sensor 2S, it was just a big game changer with how easy it was to unspin these bars and how smooth it made this whole system work. You're going to see a change too on the flag out system, so specifically in the shape of the ring. You can still hook up your leash to this side of the ring, but they have an extra slot in here that basically allows you to clip this into the chicken loop and hook it up to straight suicide mode. On the last model, the Sensor 2S, you had to buy an extra wake style suicide kit that you had to mount into the chicken loop system, which worked fine, but it's kind of extra pieces, you know, it wasn't necessarily the cleanest to install and just even to use. So this is kind of eliminating all those extra parts that you need and really making it clean. So that's a new change. Your donkey dick as well is now plastic, so it's a very pliable, really easy to work with plastic. The last system with the bungee was really good. I'd had some times where the bungee would snap, but again, it was a very easy replacement. Same with these, you can get these parts no problem from Core. They're really good with making sure that there's still, I think, a 6-year guarantee on all parts, and even beyond that, quite honestly. So you're always covered in that sense. Moving up, the next big thing that they changed is something that they call stealth winders. So as you can see right now, the bar is really clean, really uniform, but there's not really any place to wind up your line. So what they've done is they've added these little guys that pop open. And now that they're open, you can wrap up your lines nice and easy. When you're ready to go out kiting and your lines are all set up and everything, you just flip these babies back to close, and you don't even have to really like push them. And even if you forget to close them, they're on a spring, or sorry, there's a bungee in here that actually makes it really easy to just touch it and it actually closes itself. So Really nice, clean system. The next thing that they've changed is something they call the live wire system. So it's a system within the floaties. Essentially, the floaties are now on a 6-inch kind of insert, plastic insert inside here that basically help keep the rigidity of these floaters. And they also help prevent you from pulling down these floaters and bunching them up. I've seen some people get these all really gnarled up and pulled in, and they start to get damaged. This system really helps keep everything solid and supported, and it also allows them to now have the lines connected straight down to the end of the bar, which just gives you a bit more direct feeling when you're turning the kite. The closer the lines are without having to have any restrictions, just the more direct the entire system will feel. So that's a really nice improvement that they've done. The bungees you'll find are actually integrated inside these inserts, so when you want to wrap up your lines and lock them in, you just pull the bungee down and lock it up, and when you're not using them, you just pop them back in there. So a really clean kind of little addition there. The next thing that you'll see that they changed is on the ends of the bars. So these are 50-centimeter bars. If you want to make this bar shorter, they all come in one length, but if you want to make this bar a shorter bar, you can actually push these inserts in and switch this to the opposite side. So it turns this bar from a 50-centimeter to a 46-centimeter. I personally always just leave it at the regular setting. I don't really care too much about flipping it back and forth. I really find that it performs well with all sizes of their kites and all their models in the one setting, but they do give you that customization, which is a really nice thing for the people who like to play with that kind of stuff. The next change that maybe isn't so significant, but I actually really like, is the Velcro system on the cleat. What they've done with this now is that if you've ever been kiting with a core bar and sometimes you trim in because you got tons of power and you go to put this guy right on the Velcro, it all stays nice and clean and straight, but what happens is sometimes when you pull this off on the old Sensor 2S bar and Sensor 2 bars, the Velcro would actually peel off, and not on all of them, but on some of them they would peel off, and then you kind of lose that ability to stick the thing on until you figured out how to glue that Velcro back onto the cleat. So what they've done to change that and to solve that is they've actually wrapped the Velcro right around the entire cleat system and bolted it right into the top cleating here. So there's really no way for you to pull off the Velcro and have this kind of issue. So I really like that. I think that's a big change, and I really appreciate that kind of little attention to detail. You're going to see that they've kept the same center depower lines covered in the plastic. So these are really nice small plastic lines covered in their, the plastic actually covers a titanium line that goes right through the whole system, so it's really strong and durable. This has really eliminated a lot of wear and a lot of restrictions as far as being able to move your bar and swivel stuff out. Some manufacturers that had in the past like big center plastic lines, when you get into like our climate in Canada in the middle of winter, minus 20, minus 30, if you're that hardcore to go out kiting, the plastic would actually like really stiffen up and hold its shape, which would really make it kind of difficult to fully depower and power up your bar smoothly. And even to release like your safety systems, that kind of rigidness really kind of screws things up and it just makes things a little less safe. So with these plastic lines, they really, even in the cold temperatures, really stay flexible, really make it easy to still maneuver your bar through the whole range of motion. So I'm really glad that they kept that system going into this new model of bar. You really don't see that much wear on these things, especially if you keep this bar clean and rinsed. These things should last a lot longer than having like the old rope system in here. They've still kept the plastic inserts, so that has been something where if they do wear out, they're really simple to change. We've done a couple of them here. It's a matter of just popping them out and popping something back in. So yeah, that's pretty much the main differences with this new bar, the main things that they've changed. So if you have any other questions about this bar, you can drop us an email or give us a call at the shop. We can answer any questions. If you are interested in demoing a bar like this, just give us a call at the shop and we'll hook you up with one of the demos and you can definitely see what you think about this bar. I think you're really going to like it. So once this whole quarantine thing is all done, let's get out there and let's try some new bars. Talk to you guys later.